Hey everyone, so I just got back from Otakon 2014 and it was a lot of fun with a bit of a question mark. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the con. This was my fourth Otakon. Of all the chairs, why did I pick the squeakiest to sit in for this? During Otakon I didn't exactly live tweet, I continuously tweeted stuff. Live tweet would be, Gamora spent $550 winning something from the art auction today, which happened, but I didn't tweet about it. That would be live tweeting. So I'm just going to kind of use this to go through as notes to kind of hit upon stuff for Otakon in general. Let me preface by saying that compared to last year, this was a lot more memorable, I think. Last year when we went, it was another con. There was some panels that we went to, and it was fun. Which isn't to demean fun, like, at all. This year there was a lot of bad stuff, as far as organization and such, but there was also some really, really good stuff. The big thing, the big story at Otakon this year was Thursday's pre-registration pickup line, which normally you go there and you spend an hour or two in line and you pick up your badge before the con even starts. We went to go get dinner, so we hopped in line about 7, and we were told by someone that, oh wow, I just got mine, I was there for 2 hours, and the line is so much longer now, so we were like, wow, we're probably setting into like a 3-hour wait to pick it up Thursday. That's, okay, whatever. We get in line, it's moving somewhat slowly, but it's moving, and I'm checking Twitter, and I'm seeing that they're having network issues that keep it from working right. It seems odd, but okay. Our total wait time, they closed the doors to not let people in anymore at 10:30. We got in there at 10:10, and there was a whole lot more line to go through. At one point there was a nice sprint, everything went, and then 100 yards, I think. It's like booth, a bunch of snaky stuff, and then the line kind of comes out, and this straight bit here, maybe 100 yards, probably not even, is where we sat for the last 45 minutes. Now, to be fair, Otakon staffers were in a bind. They had this rotten thing to deal with and to break the news to us. And they did it. They handled it with professionalism and grace. And I gave one of them kind of shit for it, because what had happened was that with the new registration system, each time that they processed the registration, they needed to go to their website to get the registration information. Each and every time. And their dedicated network in the Baltimore Convention Center went down, so they were on free BCC Wi-Fi. Which of course is bogged down by all the nerds. What's up with the pre-reg line? I was one of them. But I was like, why don't you have a local database? It sucked. But they handed out passes to say, hey, we know you already waited for 4 hours, we're not going to make you wait tomorrow, Friday morning. Here's a jump the line pass, which I should have brought down with me for illustrative purposes. It was a green thing that said you can jump the line, and it was great, and we did, and we got our pass within 10 minutes on Friday. So, that's turning a really terrible situation into something that worked, so good for them. The big thing with Otakon, of course, is cosplay. And Steph did Amethyst Ash again, second year in a row, and she did a lot better with this one. She used a lot of foam for the armor pieces last year, which kind of didn't really work out. She used vinyl for it instead, which stayed really well. Her costume really didn't fall apart at all, so that was really cool, that she was able to get it to stay together, and it looked great, and a bunch of people stopped her for pictures. It was really cool. I took this one of her while we were waiting in line for the first panel. Oh, that was Whose Line Is It Anime? Which, when you watch Whose Line Is It Anywhere, you're usually watching for scenes from a hat, because that's the one everyone's like, oh, I could come up with something. And aside from one person really bombing at scenes from a hat, it was good. That was the second half of the 1 hour panel. The first half was trying to do other Whose Line games and just You know what? A scenes from a hat panel is great. Things you can say about your cosplay, but not your girlfriend. I'll only use it for the first day anyway, and then leave it in the hotel room all weekend. Anyway, another what I wore was what I've been wearing to the Renaissance Festival and slowly assembling over the years is, the pants, the shirt. I got a cowl last weekend at the Renaissance Festival that you saw kind of blurry in last week's video. I apologize. That's why I'm trying not to move around too much, and I'm paranoidly checking my screen up here to make sure I'm in focus. I also went to a panel of the team that does Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Little Karibo, I believe is how it's pronounced, and a few others that was really cool. We saw them last year. It was great. They showed an episode. They talked about what they do. They did a Q&A. It was a lot of fun. Before that, there wasn't a room clear, so you could go into the previous panel and then just stay there. The previous panel was talking about Akira Kurosawa? Somebody correct me. I know that the anime is pronounced Akira. I don't know if Kurosawa's first name is also pronounced that way or if it's Akira. But anyway, talk about him and his works, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I've never seen any of Kurosawa's works, even Seven Samurai. One of you, and I know exactly who it is really pissed at me right now for this. And when you visit in September, feel free to sit me down and make me watch it, and I look forward to it. In fact, I'm going to sit you down to make me sit. I'm going to sit you down to make you sit me down to watch at least Seven Samurai, or something else if you want. It was cool. I was one of the few that was like, yeah, I'm kind of into this. At the end they left, and it's like nobody got up to leave. Almost everybody that was there in the room was actually there for some guys who make videos on YouTube. Welcome to Anime Fandom. The last panel that we went to that night was a what the fuck did I just watch? OMG, WTF did I just watch? Whatever. 18 plus panel. And that was the last thing that we went to that night. And then we had pizza and wings at like 12:30, and then I went to sleep. I don't remember my dream. I remember it being entertaining. While we were sitting in line for that, of course you may have seen the video from that I posted while sitting in line. Cue it up! We didn't get a whole lot. Like, usually all the prints and like plushies and everything that is just cool, and that's kind of how we decorate, which we haven't done yet. But I mean, we have so much that's going to go up on the walls. I think we immediately went from apartment wall space that's filled up plus to house wall space. It's going to be completely filled. It's ridiculous. This year we got like 3 or 4 prints. I got little Loki pillow there, and we got a Poro. Now a Poro is one of these. He's from League of Legends. Sorry. They're on the Howling Abyss map, and they just kind of wander around beneath your feet, and you can feed them a little snack. When you feed them a snack, they get bigger. When you feed them 10 snacks, they blow up and make more Poros, it's a neat little background thing that really doesn't do anything for gameplay, but it's neat and it's fun, and it's just something that kind of enriches the experience. So this is a set of 2 that we got on Etsy last year. The Poro that we got this year is this guy, who also squeaks. I shall be insufferable. But I mean, it's mostly Artist Alley stuff. But if you were following me on Twitter, you know that when I went to the dealer's room the next day, I found something so cool. Now, last week when I went to the Renaissance Festival, you're watching this on Friday, week before when I went to the Renaissance Festival, I looked, making sure, I'm in focus. I looked at a pair of boots, at getting a pair of boots from there that's like boots, moccasins, really comfortable. And eventually, I just said, I can't justify that price for something I'm only going to wear a couple times a year. I really can't. Then I go to Otakon, and there's this booth right across from the main Otakon merch booth. And they do boots, like full-on boots, full rubber tread, everything. Oh my god, it's like almost twice as good. No offense, Renaissance Festival thing. Your stuff was cool. This stuff was cooler. And they just, I don't have the business card on me. Here's their website, though. Here's their logo and website, and you can go to them. It's cool. They were really friendly, and I couldn't help myself. I got the boots. And I've been wearing them non-stop since. They completed my costume, as in, like, literally my costume is now complete. I was missing boots. I was wearing sneakers with it before. So, at least it didn't even match. And now I have the matching boots to go with the costume. And plus, they're just really, really comfortable anyway. In addition to that unfortunate display back there, yes, I am currently wearing the boots. It's a little out of focus. I don't stretch that well. Oh, that's uncomfortable, but hey, we're getting some detail there. Yeah. Okay, I was not prepared for that. Why do I do those things to myself? Anyway, got the boots. Best ever. And then I said, I'm done spending money. And then we went to some more panels on Saturday. Uncle Yo and Plus 2 Comedy are two, well, comedy... One's a comedian, one's a comedy troupe. There are three guys. Uncle Yo is really well known, and apparently this was his last Otakon, which was news to me. I don't want to say... I don't want to sound negative about him because it seemed like he wasn't fully into it. Like he was, some self-promoting of this YouTube show, which he showed some of. And like we're watching part of an episode, and we're like, I thought we were here for stand-up. Yes, there were some funny bits, but it wasn't what we were expecting. But even when he's not on his game, he's still hilarious. If he's still doing more cons, check out Uncle Yo. And he was in like panel 2, huge room, whatever. And then Plus 2 Comedy got a tiny ass little room that they packed. They could have packed twice over with the line. And they were hilarious. They were great. There's Will and Noah as per usual. And then Vegas is their newest member, who I guess they didn't actually do stand-up last year, but they did their other panel that I'll talk about in a moment. And they did a supervillain kind of thing. They cosplayed some supervillains and it all interacted, and it was really cool. So that's right, he was there, but they didn't do stand-up last year. And they did again this year. I think they were testing the waters, and it was great. Like, seriously, they wouldn't have filled panel 2. They may not have filled panel 7. People that don't go to Otakon have no idea what I'm talking about, but panel 5 or 6 they would have filled. Otakon, please give them more space because holy crap, they were great. They have a DVD that I got last year and I don't think I watched. I don't know if they officially have a CD. The first year that I saw them, they were selling like some recorder way in the back or like next to a speaker or something, and I listened and I was like, well, the jokes are funny, and they were like, yeah, sorry. Like, I've seen them basically every time that I've gone to Otakon, and it's been great. They're an amazing group that does hilarious stuff. So anyway, Plus 2 Comedy. They did a Q&A and I was like, who'd you piss off to get this room? And I kind of feel bad about that. You guys, I'm guessing you're watching right now because you're really good at like interacting with fans. Although I'm like 20 minutes into recording, so but I kind of apologize for that. It was funny. I made you laugh. That made me happy. But I hope it didn't bring any bad feelings. I mean, the staff that was there was great. Let me say, oh my god, guys, the Otakon staff, there was one or two that were like kind of gruff and rude and whatever, but for the most part, they were great. One that had to break the bad news on Thursday. It was like, hey, here's what's going on. She was trying to keep everyone happy, and I think that I snapped at her or whatever. But I ran into her a couple more times. She was always chipper and high energy and great. And I actually, today, Sunday, I got to thank her because we were blocked from going into I know I'm going out of order here. We were blocked from going into the artist alley for the art auction because there was just so many people in line. They had to clear it out because it could have been a hazard. And we're like, oh, we're going to be late. What if they start the auction? They hadn't started the auction yet because they knew that they figured out communication at this point. That was a big thing on Thursday, was that they didn't communicate. Hey, it's not working. Stop letting people in line. Anyway, art auction. She came up and like, oh, you have to wait a couple more minutes and then I'll start letting people in. And I got the chance to stop her and say, you have been amazing. Thank you so much. And she really appreciated that. I won't say it made her day because there was 35,000 people in attendance. They had an attendance cap and they hit it. I'd like to think that I helped brighten that moment for her. If you ever get a chance to say to someone, you are doing an awesome job at doing your job, and you're making my day better. Please do it. It means so much to them. Yeah. Going back to Saturday, we were told at one point that they stopped the line for Beyond the Tentacle, which was +2 comedies, like headliner thing in one of the bigger panel rooms in panel 6, I think. And they've done it this was the 4th year running. We've gone to it every year that we've gone to Otakon. We didn't go their second year because we had a family commitment to go to, but we've been to every other one. He recognized me when I was talking to him afterward, which says something. Anyway, obviously an 18+ panel talks about different fetishes and stuff, and does so in a really funny way. It's an interactive thing. It's great. It's funny. I couldn't post pictures because they say no photos, which is fair, I think. Plus, on Twitter. Anyway, but what they did was that there wasn't a room clear for the thing before, and we look in and it's like, there's a ton of room in here. We could just go in and sit during this yaoi panel. I'm going to let that sink in for those of you that know what yaoi is. For those of you that don't, it's boy on boy. And we had gone to one, I think like 3 years ago, and it was done in very much like, so let's talk to the audience, and what does the audience think? And they like moderated an audience discussion, and we left after like 10 minutes. This year when we did that, they half moderated an audience discussion and half showed some stuff. And we were like, if we were just here for this one, we probably would have left. But we were like, you know what, Beyond the Tentacles after this, let's stick around. Let's stick this out. I'm going to say stick as many times as I can until it sinks in that I'm making a dick joke. And then some of it cleared out. We managed to get into front seats for Beyond the Tentacle. Managed to participate in something, which was cool. We lost, but whatever. It was a competition. I just go to Otakon and watch Beyond the Tentacle. It's fun. And that alone made me be like, this was fun. This was worth. It was a lot of fun, and they packed the room. Yeah, and then Sunday was just some of the art auction and watching Gamora drop $550 on an Attack on Titan thing. Not winning anything that we had put bids on, but that's fine because we weren't in it for like really rich. Whoa, buddy, not gonna go over 100 on that Okami print. I mean, it's really nice, but one for 200, one for 100. One thing that Steph bid on, one for like 150. I put a bid on something that went for 40, and I was like, I probably could have done 40, but whatever. Anyway, I've talked for way too long, and I guess kind of, I talked about what was good, what was bad. We're wondering if we're going to do Otakon next year. We've done it. Steph's done it for, aside from the 1 year missing, she's done it for, I think, close to 10 years, maybe only like 7 or 8. And I've gone for 4 of the 5 past years. I proposed to Steph at Otakon. Maybe following a Beyond the Tentacle panel. Maybe it was the other night. I'm not sure. But, we're not as into anime as we used to. We are into sci-fi and fantasy. So we're wondering if next year we're going to do Dragon Con. Or if we're going to find something smaller, like maybe Niagara Falls Comic Con, do that as like a small thing and keep doing Otakon. We don't know. It's something that we're weighing the options of. We're talking to our friends and figuring out, what are the logistics of Dragon Con as opposed to what we're used to with Otakon and just everything like that. The way I'm leaning right now is that we'll probably keep doing Otakon and maybe do, some smaller sci-fi cons that are local to us. I'd like to do Dragon Con sometime. But there's no way we can do it in the same year as Otakon, and we do enjoy Otakon. They messed up some reg stuff this year. Big deal. They learned. Friday they learned. The Friday line went really fast. And I'm not just talking about the cut the line, I'm talking about the line. They tried something new, and it came with some cool stuff, and came with some pitfalls, and they're going to learn. So, what are we going to do next year? I don't know. We got to figure it out fast. If we're going to do Otakon, we got to be ready this week when they announce the date to jump and get a hotel. That's what we did. Within 24 hours, we went on one hotel. Oops, no room. On a second hotel, oh, you're waitlisted. Went to a third hotel. We stayed at the Marriott this year for the first year ever. As opposed to the Days across the street or the I don't know what the second one was. You know, and I think Dragon Con's like that too, so we gotta figure it out. You know, if you have experience with those, what have you been to Otakon? How was it? Did you go this year? Did you go previous years? Have you gone to Dragon Con? Are you looking forward to this year's Dragon Con? Let me know how that goes. Do you know stuff that's local to New York State or up to one state or province away? You know, I heard Montreal might be good. So let me know. You know, I'm interested in hearing con stories. Post a comment below or make a video, and you know, I don't think they do video comments anymore, but you know, post a link to your video, something like that. You know, I'd be interested in hearing it. Certainly you can leave a video link at Twitter at Boaterbug or Facebook.com/Boaterbug. Really enjoyed. Oh, Cortana, what are you doing? You're weird. Why did you start? Phone. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble. If you get the chance to go to Otakon, go. I mean, we're not dissing Otakon when we say we might go to something else. It's just we're not into anime as much as we used to. Although we do have a watch list that we now have to get into. Let me know your con stories. Subscribe, follow on Facebook and Twitter, support on Patreon. And guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Hey guys, so I kind of can't believe that I forgot this, but during the +2 Q&A, the final question was we had time for one more. Okay, that's an awesome one to end on. Let's do this. Was, can you sing something? And he kind of went, okay, I'm going to need just a little bit of help with this one. So if I can have everyone chant along with me. Ooga shaka, ooga, ooga, ooga shaka, ooga, ooga, ooga shaka, ooga, ooga, ooga shaka, ooga, ooga, I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me. You hold in your arms so tight, you let me know everything's alright. I'm hooked on a feeling, I'm high on believing that you're in love with me. I apologize that I kind of disappeared off the little register there. He sang it better, marginally. I apologize for everything in that segment.